During the summer like this, there are a lot of durians, right? Thailand is really the land of durians. Many fans have asked me to make a video teaching how to make durian wine. So today I'm answering your request. You can use any variety of durian for this. Today I'm using ripe and soft Manthong durian like this. We won't use the hard, unripe kind because if you do, it won't have that fragrant aroma. You can use any variety of durian, but make sure it's ripe and soft, not the fermented kind, friends. If it's fermented, that's only good for making durian paste. If you use fermented durian flesh to make wine, it will taste bitter. Once it's bitter, it's very hard to fix the flavor. So use durian that's nicely ripe and soft, like the kind people use for durian sticky rice. Use flesh like that. If you taste it and it's bitter, don't use it. If you use bitter durian to make wine, it's hard to fix. Let me tell you this. Today we're going to make durian wine with coconut syrup. You can use any brand of coconut syrup. Now, let's take a look at the process. In this step, we'll use 1 liter of water and pour it into an orange basin. Turn on the stove. Now that the water is hot, we'll use 300 grams of durian flesh that we've already separated. Add it in at this step. Just use the durian flesh and add it straight in. There's no need to blend it at all because the flesh is already soft and mushy when we separate it. Once we add the durian, as you can see, the water is starting to boil. Now we'll add 1 kilogram of white sugar right in. After adding the sugar, make sure to stir it, otherwise it will stick to the bottom of the pot and burn. We're not going to boil it for long, just until the sugar dissolves, then turn off the heat. Now the sugar has completely dissolved, so we'll turn off the stove. It's not difficult to tell when the sugar has dissolved. The water will become clearer. Now we can turn off the heat. I've already turned off the stove, and now we'll let the boiled durian mixture cool down before moving on to the next step. Stay tuned for what's next. Now, I've let the boiled durian mixture cool down. Next, we'll use 300 ml of coconut syrup. I'm going to pour in 300 ml. You can use any brand of coconut syrup, friends. Like this, we're going to use exactly 300 ml. I'm pouring in 300 ml. This is concentrated coconut syrup, and you can use any brand. Just pour it in at this step. After pouring in the coconut syrup, we'll add the remaining 4 liters of water. Use drinking water and pour it in. We use drinking water at every step. Once that's done, friends, mix the ingredients together until well combined like this. Then we'll scoop out some of the water to test the yeast. We'll separate some water into a small bowl like this. I use wine yeast stone teaspoon added to the bowl with the separated water and mix well. We'll let the yeast activate first. While we're waiting for the yeast to work, you can go ahead and pour the water into the fermentation tank. Now our yeast has risen and become nice and frothy like this. Can you see, friends? When it's frothy like this, it means it's ready to use. If the yeast is expired, it's very easy to tell. The water we use to test the yeast will stay clear and the yeast powder will just settle at the bottom of the cup. But if it rises and gets foamy like this, then it's ready to use. We can pour the yeast straight into the fermentation tank. Once we pour the yeast into the tank, we'll close the lid first. In this step, we're going to shake the tank. Shaking the tank helps increase the oxygen inside and allows the yeast to disperse. This way, the yeast can start working faster. After shaking the tank, you need to loosen the lid slightly so it can move like this. Once that's done, don't forget to write a sticker and attach it to indicate what kind of wine you're making. For example, I'm making durian wine with coconut syrup. Started fermenting on May 11, 2024. We'll ferment it at room temperature for about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I'll update you on the progress. I'll let you know how satisfied I am with the taste of the durian wine fermented with coconut syrup. Today I'm here to give you an update on the durian wine with coconut syrup. I've been fermenting it at room temperature for 2 weeks now. Today we're going to separate the sediment and stop the yeast. It's edible, friends. This one, it goes really well with coconut syrup. I'm telling you, they pair perfectly. For those who ferment wine for a long time like I do, about 15 to 20 days, the yeast will consume all the sugar and turn it into alcohol. There won't be any sweetness left at all. When there's no sweetness left, there will be a lingering bitterness and astringency. So I'll show you how to fix the taste the bitterness and harshness by adding granulated sugar. If your wine is only a little bitter and astringent, add 30 grams. If your wine is very bitter, then add 50 grams. You can add it at this stage. Turn on the stove. Okay, after adding the sugar, stir quickly or else the sugar will stick to the bottom of the pot and burn, causing a bad smell. When making wine, a thermometer is absolutely essential. While using the thermometer, you also need to keep stirring the wine and at the same time use the thermometer to check the temperature. Our thermometer is an infrared type which measures heat, so you have to keep stirring the wine. Today, we will only knock out the yeast at 40 degrees C. The aroma will be mildly fragrant, friends, not an overpowering or pungent smell that stings your nose. This scent is just right. The temperature will gradually rise. Right now, the thermometer reads 40.1 degrees C, so we'll turn off the stove now. Now we've already turned off the stove. We need to let the wine rest until it reaches room temperature before moving on to the next step. Friends, don't rush and add the yeast while the wine is still hot, or it will turn into steam and create a white haze. While we're fermenting the wine, it might have a foul, rotten smell. I'll update you again after the wine has cooled to room temperature. Now, we've let the durian wine with coconut core rest until it's at room temperature so we can pour it into the fermentation tank for the next step. Today, we finished pouring the durian wine into the fermentation tank. Now, I'm going to teach you how to add yeast in 2 steps, starting with adding potassium metabisulfite. This substance looks like fine granules similar to salt. Adding potassium metabisulfite helps preserve the color, aroma, and flavor, preventing them from changing. In my recipe for making 5 to 6 liters of wine, I use 2 teaspoons of potassium metabisulfite. Potassium metabisulfite is also known by another name, which is, just remember the simple abbreviation, friends, KMS. We'll add 2 teaspoons. Simply scoop it out and pour it directly into the tank. Here, 2 scoops of the chemical. It dissolves quite easily. Try pouring it into the pool water. It dissolves immediately. All chemicals are hazardous, so keep them out of reach of children and avoid inhaling them directly. After adding the KMS, you can tightly close the lid of the container. Let it sit for 2 nights, then check the container to see if it has become indented or sunken. If the container is still pressed in, you can continue fermenting it at normal room temperature. But if the container is swollen and tight, that means the yeast has become active again. In that case, just loosen the lid slightly and continue fermenting at room temperature until the process is complete. The durian wine will be fermented at room temperature for about 7 to 10 days. I'll come back to update you on how delicious our durian wine fermented with coconut will turn out. So stay tuned. Today, Pamu is here to give you an update on the durian wine fermented with coconut. We've been fermenting at room temperature for 7 days now, everyone. After 7 days, the wine has become quite clear. This is the durian wine, everyone, right here. Here it is. I fermented it at room temperature. And as you can see, after 7 days, the liquid has become this clear. There will be sediment at the bottom of the container. See, there's a lot of sediment at the bottom. Today, I'm going to show you how to bottle the wine by adding potassium sorbate. This substance looks like small stick-shaped pellets, kind of like sugarcane pieces. It helps inhibit the growth of yeast, so the yeast won't become active again. For bottles of 300 to 500 ml, I use 1 spoonful of sorbate. For bottles of 500 to 1000 ml, we use 2 spoonfuls. We'll scoop the sorbate directly into the bottle. Next, we'll pour the wine into the bottle. Watch how I lift the wine container. I tense my wrist as I lift it, just like this. When we lift it like this, we get clear liquid right away. After pouring the wine into the bottle, just seal the cap tightly. See? Now we have clear wine like this. Look, there's no sediment at all. What you see floating here is the sorbate we added. I've already added sorbate to this one and let it sit for a week. The resulting wine is crystal clear like this. Let me tell you first that. As for durian wine, durian flesh naturally contains fat, so you'll notice an oily texture from the durian. When you eat it, you can feel that richness, just like when you use it to make coconut milk or similar things. You'll sense that the durian flesh has a natural oiliness to it, so don't be alarmed, friends. It's not because you didn't clean the container or the equipment properly. It's not that at all. The oil will float to the surfaces, the natural oil from the durian flesh. so there's no need to worry. Today, Aunt Moo is going to have you all try durian wine that's been fermented with coconut coir to see how much we like the taste. Take a look at the wine. Friends, the clear color looks inviting, doesn't it? Now, Aunt Moo is going to taste it. This one has a strong, intense flavor, friends, if you drink it like this. It's not so durian flavored that it's inedible or anything. There's just a slight hint of durian aroma, that's all, because Papa Moo used coconut syrup to help balance it out. This one doesn't have any sweetness left at all. If anyone wants it to be a little bit sweet, you can add sugar. When we were mixing it, Aunt Moo added 50 grams, but you can add 80 grams or even 100 grams if you like it a bit sweeter. This one really has no sweetness left, friends, and there's a slight bitterness too. It's delicious and has its own charm. There's a hint of coconut salad aroma to help mask the durian smell, because if it were all durian, it would probably be too much to eat. Because I use coconut serum to help, it really makes the flavor softer and the durian wine easier to drink, friends. This is another option for orchard owners who want to process their produce into beverages. I've already shown you an example. This can serve as a guideline. I've made several recipes, and I'll gradually edit and upload them for members to watch. If you watch my videos and find them enjoyable or useful, please give me a like to support me and share them widely so other members can learn the correct way to make wine. That's all from me for now, and greetings to all my fans. Whether you're living abroad or in the country, please take care of your health, everyone. I care about you all. That's all for this video. Until we meet again. Goodbye.